The Jacksonville Jaguars have a professional blowout win in Tennessee and now sit at the very top, tied in the AFC South.
You are Locked On Jaguars, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Make no mistake about that. It is your team every day here on Locked On Jaguars, which is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network. We thank you for making us your first listen here on a Victory Sunday edition of Locked On Jaguars as the Jaguars win 25-3 against the Tennessee Titans. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On NFL for $20 off your first purchase. All right, two halves to this show. Y'all know how it goes on post-game shows. I'll end up talking about how they need to clean up the penalties before next week. It was a very workmanlike performance, but at the very top, we're going to talk about how the defense ruled the day. And with defense, I'm talking about Josh Hines-Allen. Josh Hines-Allen got busy, man, as the Jacksonville Jaguars went out and did the expected and dominated the Tennessee Titans from top to bottom, from absolute top to bottom. All right. And it was a brilliant game plan against a bad team. And it really, really showed that this is how you have to get it done. When you're the team that is expected to win, you have to have games where you go out and you don't play down to your competition. And that's exactly what happened today. You know, a few little bumps here and there, but never in doubt, the Jaguars dominated this game like they were absolutely supposed to, and now sit 8-4 because the Houston Texans beat the Tennessee Titans. The Indianapolis Colts. And I was sitting there wondering, like, how did I want that game to go, right? Did you want the Colts to go ahead and win and so you can create more distance between yourself and Houston, who is now only one game back, or and then you just take care of the Colts yourself in the two games that you play, or what happened today? Did you not care who won the game? Or did you want Houston to win so the Colts could drop back and then you could make next week's game really for first place in the division? So a lot of stuff to go over, a lot of stuff to talk about, but clearly the Jacksonville Jaguars were a better team today, but it did not matter. You guys and I wanted them to beat the Titans senseless. They probably could have beat them a little worse than they actually did, but it was still a very, very good game. Got a little chippy. I thought the players that know Arden Key got a little too friendly with him once he hit Trevor with that shot. I would like the friendship to go out of the window a little bit on that. And then Logan Cook, and he got all involved with some players. He didn't like the way things they were doing him and being physical on him, so he took it upon himself to get busy. That's something to watch. One thing to watch too is Parker Washington got her. I'm thinking about Tyler Rowland from Locked On Titans because I know he's somewhere right now 38 hot, and I am happy about that. But no, Parker Washington, non-contact, raising his hand. They listed it as a hip. I know that kind of pain and movement. I went through that stuff. I had a hip replacement, and I had a hernia, and I had diverticulitis. So I had a lot of stuff going on in that same region. And sometimes when you reach and pull and you see somebody react that way, you can only go, oh, no, man, I don't like the way that looks. So it looks like a little bit of a core injury. We'll wait. We won't speculate. We'll wait to make sure we get the correct prognosis, diagnosis, and all of that stuff. And hopefully he won't be out too long. But Jakobi Meyers continues his ascension up the ranks of the wide receivers for us here. And Brian Thomas Jr. came back and made a couple of nice plays. Only 2 catches for 28 yards, but he looked like the BT that we all know and remember. And I guess it'll be a little bit of baby steps before he gets completely back. But nice to see him out there today for the Jaguars. But Jakobi Meyers, man, 6 catches, 90 yards. Brenton Strange got busy in the passing game and got some love with 3 catches for 45 yards. Trevor was super, super sharp, in my opinion. Stood in the pocket, stared down the gun barrel. He did get sacked 3 times. We had to move the offensive line around a little bit, but he was 16 out of 27 for 229, 2 TDs. And he used his legs, 3 rushes for 25 yards, did not make the costly turnover, and the Jaguars won. I was told that they don't win when they don't turn the ball over. They only win when Trevor turns the ball over. I'm being petty now, but still. The running game did not get going the way we thought it would against this team. But sometimes teams that are bad, they kind of load up on you. And the Jaguars running game was non-existent, but at least they kept pounding it and they kept trying it, and they didn't get too far behind on the sticks because of those penalties. But the main thing is the defense today. 2 sacks by Josh Hines-Allen, 1 sack by Johnson up in the middle, Austin Johnson. And, of course, the tackling machine, Foye Oluokun, led the team in sacks with 8. We did see a lot of Jordan Lewis today. Glad to see him back on the field. It's going to take him a little while to get going, but nonetheless, he was out there. So the defense had a workmanlike day, had a very, very strong performance, and that's all you can ask for. Except we're going to ask for more because we want them to win that game next week against the Colts. And I'm going to tell you something. That stadium is going to be rocking. So Daniel Jones and crew better get ready. We're going to talk about some things that they need to clean up before next week. And then I'm going to let you guys know to come on over to the squad show. That'll be right after this on Locked On Jaguars. Me, O'Brien, and Marquise Ogden are waiting for me. So we'll take a little bit of a time out here to let you know what's going on. But then we'll come back and talk about what needs to get cleaned up before next week. We'll do that in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars. All right, today's show is sponsored and brought to you by Prize Picks. The holiday season is one of the best times for sports, bowl games, big basketball matchups, coaching changes, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while we're all making choices every day, one of the most fun places to make the right call is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the easiest way to get in on daily fantasy. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, lock in your lineup, and you're in the game. It's simple, fast, and available in 45 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. I'm telling you, man, if you had Trevor Lawrence today throwing more than 1 touchdown, then guess what? That means you won because he threw 2. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. And today's show is also sponsored and brought to you by our friends over at Game Time. I know getting tickets can be really, really difficult for a lot of people. But look, man, basketball season, hockey season, it's all officially here. And nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real. Getting tickets can be a total headache between waiting in queues, surprise fees, prices jumping around. Before checkout, it's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. That's where Game Time comes in, the app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing deals fast, easy, and stress-free. All right, the zone deals are game changers. You pick the section, Game Time picks your seats, and you save big. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time and download the Game Time app. Create an account and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. That's code LOCKEDONNFL, LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. It's game time. All right, half number 2 of our post-game show here on Locked On Jaguars, where the Jacksonville Jaguars are victorious 25-3. It could not be sweeter. And I know the Titans are bad. I do not care. And I know most of the Jaguar fans do not care. They are glad the Jaguars got out of there with a win, and they are glad that they showed the Tennessee Titans that they are in football purgatory. They are the doormat of not only the AFC South, but the entire NFL. So thank you. We'll wipe our feet on you. We'll leave here, grab us some hot honey chicken, get back on the plane, and go back to Duval County, where we got to clean up some stuff, man, and we got to get right and the Jaguars have to get some things together because the Colts will come in here next week, and the Colts are a lot better team with a real good offensive line, a good receiving core, a real nice young tight end, and, of course, one of the best running backs in the National Football League next week, Jonathan Taylor. They do have a gimpy quarterback in Daniel Jones. I think that's going to play a factor into it. They can get after him a little bit and make him move a little bit more than he wants to because he has a fibula injury. That's I think it's a break or whatever. It sounds worse because you're talking about a broken bone or a fracture, but it's not as bad as a high ankle sprain. We've heard high ankle sprain. You rather break your fibula than have a high ankle sprain. So, yeah, big game next week. The Jaguars are playing a big, beautiful, meaningful game in week 14, which is game number 13, but week 14. They're 8-4, bro. They are 8-4. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are sitting at the top of this division. It's a real good spot for them to be in, especially since we're not used to them being here and being here with so much optimism. And then the good thing about it is they're still banged up. They're still getting people back from injury. The offensive line had to do some moving and shaking today. But they're right there at 8-4, man. And I don't want to hear about other teams falling back. But yeah, you know what? They beat the Chiefs. They're part of the reason why the Chiefs fell back. Here's one thing I'll leave you with today, though, that's cause for concern for me, and that is they have to stop committing so many penalties. Didn't hurt them today because the opponent was so bad. And I know if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying and all of that stuff. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with all of the sayings and all of that stuff. But if they're going to get where they need to go when they play better teams, they have to figure out a way to not be as handsy. They have to figure out a way to be able to play the game without committing some of these penalties. Some of the penalties they're getting, like one holding penalty, I think it was on Jacoby Myers, had absolutely nothing to do with the play. The play wasn't going to work, right? So, yeah, we're going to have it all this week. It's all positive as we build up towards the Colts. We're going to have more for you, too, on the squad show, the Jaguar squad show. It'll be in a few minutes. I'm going to hop over there with Mia O'Brien, the host, as well as Marquise Ogden, our former player, who's also one of our co-hosts and guests. We're going to get all of this stuff out, and you'll hear more about it on there. But you can check me out on Locked On Jaguars every single week because it's your team every day, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is also a part of the #1 sports podcast network. Victory, victory, victory is 25-3. The Jaguars win. We'll see you on the squad show in just a few minutes here on Locked On Jaguars, and then we'll see you tomorrow, Monday, on our episode. Take care. We'll see you.